What if the reason you're still broke is because you've been tricked into calling liabilities assets? Every day, people throw cash into things that feel like progress, but are quietly holding them back. The rich know how to spot real assets, but most people, they get trapped. Stay with us because today we're breaking down 10 common assets that are keeping you poor, and number 7, a trap almost everyone falls into. Let's start with one of the most dangerous financial habits out there. Asset number 1, high-interest debt. It starts with a swipe, just $100 here, a weekend trip there. You tell yourself, I'll pay it off next month. But the balance keeps growing. That $3,000 balance on your card, at 20% interest, you could end up paying $6,000 or more. And while you're throwing money at interest, you're not building anything. No assets, no freedom, just stress. Wealthy people use debt differently. Billionaires like Mark Cuban won't touch credit card debt. He once said, if you use a credit card and don't pay it off in full every month, you're a financial idiot. Wealthy people use debt to build, not consume. But most people, they use it to buy things that lose value the second they leave the store. That's not a flex, that's a trap. If you want to build real wealth, killing high-interest debt is step 1. Start by listing every debt you owe, sort by interest rate, and attack the highest one first. Even $50 extra a month can save you thousands over time. Asset number 2, designer clothes and accessories. One of the most overlooked wealth killers, overconsumption disguised as style. Designer brands don't just sell products, they sell identity. And we buy it because we're human. Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg wears the same $20 gray t-shirt every day to reduce decision fatigue. No labels, no flash, just focus. That $1,000 handbag or pair of limited edition sneakers isn't about function, it's about what it says to the world. I've made it, I'm successful, I'm different. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people chasing luxury can't actually afford it. They're financing it. That's not ownership, that's a rented image with compounding interest. And while you're paying for the flex, your money isn't compounding in investments or assets, it's sitting in a closet. Wealthy people don't spend to impress. They spend because they've already invested, and the money's working for them. The mistake most people make is thinking the look builds the lifestyle. But money doesn't work in reverse. Trying to signal success before you've earned it is one of the fastest ways to stay broke. Before every brand-driven purchase, pause and ask, would I still want this if no one ever saw me wear it? If the answer is no, you just saved money. Reinvest that impulse. Track your non-essential fashion spending for 30 days. Total it. Then ask yourself, what would this number look like if I had invested it instead? Let the math guide your next decision. Asset number 3, degrees that drain, not deliver. Overpriced degrees. We've all heard it, go to college, get a degree, and you'll be set for life. But here's the problem. Not all degrees are worth the price tag. Warren Buffett once said, the best investment you can make is in yourself. But even he emphasizes value. He attended a $100 Dale Carnegie course to improve public speaking. It changed his life. He didn't need an Ivy League price tag to build a billion-dollar brain. Imagine taking out $100,000 in loans to land a $38,000 a year job. That's not an investment. That's a lifetime subscription to stress. The value of education is real. But the economics of how we pursue it, that's where most people go wrong. The wealthy treat education like any other investment. They ask, what's the return? They look at demand, earning potential, and time to break even. Most others don't. They chase passion without a plan and get trapped under student loan debt they can't shake for decades. And the worst part? Society applauds it. We're told any degree is progress, even if it leads to financial stagnation. But financial freedom doesn't come from credentials. It comes from strategy. You don't need to be anti-education. You need to be pro-math. Use a simple ROI formula. Take your expected starting salary, divide it by the total cost of the degree. If it takes more than 5 years to break even, rethink your path. Asset number 4, the upgrade trap, also known as tech upgrades. Every year it's the same story. A new phone, a new laptop, a slightly faster chip, a shinier design, a camera you'll barely notice is better. And suddenly your perfectly good device feels outdated? That's not an accident. It's engineered. Tech companies thrive on planned obsolescence, convincing you that your current gear isn't enough. The result? You drop $1,200 on a phone that's 10% better and 90% unnecessary. And when that spending becomes habitual, it adds up fast. But here's what the wealthy understand. Technology is a tool, not a trophy. They use it for utility, not for status. They upgrade when function demands it, not when marketing nudges them. Most people, though, they're stuck in a loop. Spending now, financing later, and wondering why there's never money left for investing. Want to build wealth? Start ignoring the hype. Asset number 5, depreciation on wheels or new cars. Nothing feels better than driving off the lot in a brand new car. The fresh leather, the flawless paint, the quiet engine, it feels like a win, but financially, it's often a loss. What most people don't realize is this. The second those wheels hit the street, the car starts losing value. Fast. In just 1 year, a new car can lose 20 to 30% of its worth. That $40,000 ride, you could be looking at a resale value under 30 grand before your second oil change, and that's not even counting loan interest, insurance premiums, or hidden fees. Most people justify it by saying, I work hard, I deserve this. But deserve and afford are not the same thing. And while that car sits in your driveway losing value every day, it's also stealing capital you could have used to build wealth. Warren Buffett drives a modest Cadillac XT5. He buys used, reliable, and smart. Not because he can't afford more, but because he values assets over image. The wealthy know this game. They buy vehicles like assets. They optimize for reliability, not ego. A 2-year-old car with low mileage? That's not a downgrade. It's a financial power move. If you're car shopping, look at 2 to 3-year-old models with strong resale history. That simple switch could save you 10 grand and supercharge your investments instead. Asset number 6. The hope tax, also known as the lottery. Buying a lottery ticket feels harmless. A couple bucks for a shot at millions, right? But the truth is, you're not buying a ticket. You're paying a premium for a fantasy. The odds of winning the big jackpot? About 1 in 292 million. You have a better chance of being struck by lightning. Twice. And yet millions of people spend money on tickets every week clinging to the same dream, financial freedom with no effort. Why? Because hope is easy to sell, and we're all wired to want shortcuts. The lottery plays directly into that desire. It's marketed like an opportunity, but statistically, it's a slow bleed. The average American spends over $400 a year on lottery tickets. That might not seem like much, but over 20 years, that's 8 grand. Money that could have been invested and grown into tens of thousands. Elon Musk once said, "You're better off building something people want than waiting for luck to change your life." He bet on engineering, not a scratch-off. Wealthy people don't rely on luck. They rely on leverage, not wishful thinking, calculated moves. Skip the ticket. Take that $5 and automate it into a low-cost index fund. In 10 years, you'll have something better than a dream compound growth. Asset number 7, the expensive promise, whole life insurance. It's pitched as a smart, safe investment. Build wealth while staying insured, they say. But here's the reality. Whole life insurance isn't an investment. It's a contract with painfully low returns. Dave Ramsey calls whole life the payday loan of the middle class. Because while it sounds good, the numbers rarely work out. When you buy a whole life policy, you're locking your money into a structure that grows slowly. Think like 2 to 4% annually, if that. Meanwhile, you're paying high premiums, hefty management fees, and you can't access the full value for years. So who wins? The insurance company. They get guaranteed profit, while you get a product that underperforms most traditional investments. Wealthy people don't tie up their capital in slow-growth vehicles. They prioritize liquidity, growth, and control. They use term insurance to protect their families, and then invest the rest where it can actually multiply. Real estate, index funds, businesses. Most people buy into whole life because it feels safe. But in finance, feelings are expensive. If you're considering life insurance, compare the total cost of a term policy plus investing the difference in a Roth IRA or ETF. You'll likely come out ahead, way ahead. Asset number 8, big day, bigger bill, weddings. For a lot of couples, it's honestly the happiest purchase of their life. But what starts as a celebration, well, it often becomes a long-term financial setback. Weddings aren't just events anymore. They're like full-blown productions. And the industry knows exactly how to sell it. It's your big day. It has to be perfect. The result? Americans are spending small fortunes on just a few hours of sparkle. The average US wedding now costs over $30,000. That's a down payment, a business startup, a solid investment portfolio. Instead, a lot of couples begin their marriage already buried in debt, all for a moment that's over before midnight. Social media, bridal magazines, and Pinterest boards are constantly pressuring couples to go bigger, flashier, more Pinterest-worthy. But here's the reality. There is zero correlation between wedding cost and marital happiness. In fact, couples who spend less often stay together longer. Take Marcus and Lena, for example. They held a $4,000 backyard wedding surrounded by just close friends. They redirected their savings into a joint investment account, which now pays out more in dividends each year than they spent on their entire ceremony. Serena Williams, for example, had a wedding with private performances and A-list guests, yet still emphasized intentional spending. Her dress was stunning, but the focus wasn't on over-the-top expense. It was on the experience. There's no correlation between how much you spend and how happy your marriage will be. Question for you. What would you rather have, an unforgettable day or a future with financial freedom? Or hey, can you build both? Comment below. A wedding should start your life together, not stall your finances before they begin. Build your wedding budget backwards. Start with what you can pay in full, then allocate. And seriously, use free tools to track and protect your long-term goals. Asset number 9, trapped in paradise, timeshares. So imagine this. You're on vacation, drink in hand, ocean breeze in your hair. Then someone offers you the chance to own a slice of paradise. Just one small payment and you can return every year. It sounds amazing, right? But behind the palm trees and complimentary champagne lies a long-term financial trap. Timeshares are sold as smart investments in your happiness. But honestly, they're not investments. They're contracts. Expensive, inflexible, and incredibly hard to escape. First, there's the hefty upfront cost, often $10,000 to $30,000 just to buy in. Then come the annual maintenance fees, which rise every year regardless of whether you use the place or not. And if life changes? Too bad. Selling a timeshare is notoriously difficult, and a lot of owners end up paying for something they can't use or don't want. Jeff Bezos doesn't own vacation properties all over the world. He rents experiences when he wants them. Ownership is for growth, not obligation. Wealth-minded travelers know better. They don't lock themselves into one location, they buy freedom. With the same money, you could fund dozens of flexible vacations on your terms. Or better yet, invest in real assets that grow. Apply the access over ownership rule. If you use it less than 10% of the year, rent it. Enjoy the lifestyle. Ditch the liability. If flexibility, control, and return aren't part of it, it's not a win. It's a leash. Asset number 10, luxury that sinks your net worth. It might be the ultimate status symbol. A boat, a jet ski, maybe even a second home. Something that says, I've made it. But here's what most people don't see. These luxuries rarely bring the return they expect. In fact, they often bring stress, upkeep, and a mountain of hidden costs. Let's break it down. You buy a $60,000 boat, great. But now add $6,000 a year in maintenance, storage, fuel, insurance, and repairs. Most boats are used less than 10 times a year, which means you're paying thousands for each sunny afternoon. That's not lifestyle, it's financial erosion. People think they're buying freedom, but they're actually buying obligation. The irony? Most of these items lose value fast and sit idle most of the time. High net worth individuals understand this. They rent the luxury, skip the liabilities. Apps and clubs now make it easier than ever to enjoy boats, cars, or vacation homes without signing up for decades of cost. Google co-founder Larry Page is known for minimal personal spending. He prefers access to luxury, not ownership. He didn't get rich by chasing lifestyle. He built it through discipline. Use the 5% rule. If maintaining a luxury item costs more than 5% of your annual after-tax income, it's probably too much. So now you know, not all assets build wealth. Some just look valuable while silently keeping you poor. Cutting toxic assets is step 1. Step 2, learning how to build wealth even in the toughest conditions. Watch our next video, 7 assets safer than cash. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's one asset on this list you've fallen for in the past? And how are you changing it moving forward? If this video opened your eyes, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a financial reset. You're not just watching content, you're changing your trajectory.